Welcome to this first video in a series of videos where we're going to go through the NEBOSH NG2 Practical Project, the sample project, section by section, and see what NEBOSH have done. This sample project is a good sample, although not perfect. It's a pass, that's what it is. And so we're going to go through it to see what you need to do in order to pass your NG2. Let's get in with the background description of the organization. So the first thing to note is that, well, we have some little comments here on the left-hand side. We have things like name of the organization. So first thing is you don't have to put your organization's real name. As it says down here, it says if you're worried about confidentiality, you can make up a false name.
Pug-nosed gimp, lard boy, absolutely flabulous.
But everything else must be real and factual. So no fictional workplaces. No working on the Death Star. No working on that island near Costa Rica where they did Jurassic Park. No working in what could be a stupid workplace. No working in the abandoned chemical plants in RoboCop. Hindenburg. No working in the Hindenburg. Anyway, you get a point.
No ticket.
So site location, Leicestershire, whatever the region is, Yorkshire, London, Abu Dhabi, whatever it is. Number of workers. Now put the number of workers for the entire organisation, not just the little bit which you're risk assessing. So if you're on if your company has 5,000 people, put 5,000 people, even if your warehouse only has 20.
Because we're like one big organism, one big animal. Yeah, the guys upstairs on the phone, they're the mouth. You know, guys down here, the hands.
And what part are you?
Good question.
General description of the organisation, right? This is where we get a bit more. Now here you have to, first of all, describe briefly what the whole organisation does in terms of the products and the services. In this example, it's a medium-sized garage, and it's going to briefly say, well, offices, vehicle repair shop, spray booth. And then the services that it provides is that it does repairs and maintenance on commercial vehicles and body repairs that have been involved in accidents. Servicing and MOTs carried out for members of the public. That's it. Services, products. Notice that there's not a huge amount of detail. We don't need to know how you manufacture things, the chemical process. Don't need to know any of that. Just what do you do? If you're a theatre, you would say, well, basically we put on stage shows, pantomimes, comedy shows, there's a cafe, there's a little shop, you know, and we do shows on Saturday, Friday nights kind of thing, matinees, whatever. Just very briefly, in like 2 or 3 lines, say what you do. Then we do the activities. Now, it says here, typical activities. Notice how it says activities. It's like, it's a clue to the examiner. It's like, oi, you, examiner. Hey, yeah, pay attention. I'm about to do the activities here. So the activities is a bit more detailed. It says, right, moving spare parts to the workshop, repairs, body repair, draining fuel and oil, spraying, spray booth activities. Right, notice how all of a sudden it's a lot more detailed. If you were doing a fast food place, you would, you know, your products, your services would be, well, we make fast food, we feed customers. But the activities would include, well, cooking and cleaning the tables and serving customers, moving things in and out of the freezers. There's a bit more detail in what you actually do. Last thing is we need shift patterns. Here it says the garage operates from 8 AM to 6 PM on weekdays, closed at weekends. Right, so first thing is we need the hours that it's open. And don't forget this, we need the days that it's open. Don't just assume that the examiner knows it's Monday to Friday, put the actual days. If it's 24/7, you're going to write down we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we want the opening times. Next, we need the shift patterns. Now, if the shift patterns are the same, you could just say, well, they're the same. The shifts are the opening hours. There's only one shift. But if you've got like, I don't know, like 8-hour shifts, 24/7, you could say, well, you know, people work from 6 in the morning through to 2 in the afternoon, then it's 2 till 10 and 10 till 6, and we do that 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Give us some detail on the shift patterns. Right, next, very importantly, the description of the area to be included in the risk assessment. So if you are risk assessing a mega a mega play. Let's say you're risk assessing Google. You wouldn't want to risk assess all of Google, would you? Right? You wouldn't even want to risk assess one of Google's data centers because they're huge. You would pick a small part. Could be that particular data center, that particular office, that particular workshop, the cafeteria, the video game room, because you know what they do on Google all day. I've been there. You're going to risk assess a smaller section of it, maybe, in which case specify what that section is. And you may even, I think it would be best if you could actually just say very briefly what activities take place in that area. That would be useful. Why is that useful? It's because later when we do the risk assessment piece, which we'll cover in another video, the examiner needs to know what you do in this workplace in order to judge whether you have covered all of the significant hazards. So this is a garage, so we want paints, we want lifts, we want electrical equipment, we want motor oil, fuel, and so on. If they don't know what the area is, they can't judge your risk assessment. Anyway, see you in another video another time.